Well, I tried watching this today. Um, wow. This had so much promise and could have really they could have really done something with this, but this is a total fuck up. This movie, like, okay, if I was to describe this movie, I would say that it's the movie Signs and A Quiet Place put together. That's basically this movie. So this girl here, um, this is the other thing. They don't explain fuck all. So I'm guessing she inherited this house from her dead parents or something. I don't know, but she's living in this house by herself. And then aliens come out of nowhere and they're attacking and they're trying to kill her and she's fighting them off. And man, this could have really had been something. They blew the ending on this, man. That's the problem with this movie. They botched the ending. Most of it is somewhat decent, I'd say, up to like the last quarter of the movie. It just gets like stupid as fuck, and you're like, what? And so this alien busts in her house, and she's fighting it off, and it's running over the place, and it looks pretty cool. I don't know if they have a picture of the alien on here. That's what I was trying to. I wanted to show the aliens because the aliens were pretty cool looking. I don't know if I can find a picture of it, what the aliens look like, but those aliens were pretty. It's like, wow, this is. It's like, oh, this ain't half bad, man. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, here we go. Yeah, here's the aliens. So, one of them breaks into the house. At first, you don't know it's an alien. You're thinking it's a bear or something. And she's got the door locked, and this thing's making all these weird noises. And I don't know why, but she wasn't able to call the police or anything. And then after that, so she thinks it went away. So she opens the door, and then she realizes that the thing is still in the house. But then the phone is dead all of a sudden. All the electricity is gone. And then she gets a good glimpse of this thing. And it's coming right at her, man. I mean, it's just trying to get her. And she ends up killing the one. And this is what I mean. There's just so many. So she kills the one alien. And before she was able to kill it, oh, by the way, the aliens have like some sort of like force power where they can do like Jedi things. So she was running to the door to get out, and the alien put its hand out and ripped the door out of its sockets and slammed it into her. And she's lying there, and I'm thinking, oh, this thing's gonna just come up on her and kill her. But it just stunned her basically, and she gets up and she sees the thing coming at her, and she's got like I can't remember what that was. I think it was a pair of shears or something. She put a knife or something in its head, and that one died. And then instead of like going to the police or whatever, well, she does try to go to the police later, but she runs out to her car with no shoes on in her freaking nightgown thing or whatever. And she's trying to start the car, and the car won't start, and it's just like this. So she ends up riding a bicycle into town, and she goes to the police station, and she can't even like tell them. And I'm like thinking, why didn't you just put the fucking alien on the back of the bike, or like find some way to like take it with you to show people that, hey, look, fucking aliens are trying to kill us? No, we don't do that. We run to town on a bicycle and then run to the police station, and then we just stare at these two people, which I don't know if that was her parents or who those people were, because they don't explain that. This is a common thing I'm noticing now in movies. They don't explain anything to you. You're just supposed to assume you know this already. So there's this cop and this old lady, and they're staring at her, and the old lady spits in her face, and then the cop gives her a dirty look, and then she runs out of there, and then she's runs back to the house, and then decides to go on this bus to get out of town. This is what I mean. There's just so much retarded bullshit on this movie, man. It's just. Okay. So I'm just going to continue with this because this is like one of the main plot points on this thing. So the aliens are somehow possessing people like zombies. And you see this little thing here? You see this thing right here? So this thing, the alien opens its mouth and this thing comes out of its mouth and it's just hovering there. And it's like some sort of a parasite thing. And all the people in town apparently have these things in their throats or whatever. So she's on the bus trying to get away. And all the aliens that are possessing the people are on the bus. And they start trying to kill her on the bus. Except for the bus driver, for some reason, he doesn't have one. He slams the brakes on. And everybody like flies out of their seats. So she gets off the bus. And she's running for her life. And then I guess the aliens don't know how to run because the one alien that was possessed by the human gets off the bus. And it's just doing like a slow walk pointing at her. And then she looks back and just runs her ass off back to the house. I'm so tired of watching these crappy movies, man. I want something good to watch. Okay, so she gets back to the house. The aliens take the dead alien out of the house. They put a tractor beam in there and take the dead alien out that she killed, and then they bring it back in there. So I guess it came back. They send it back to kill her. So it's trying to kill her for a second time now, and she's running around fighting it and hitting it with a shovel and doing all of this stuff. And here's the other thing: is these aliens, they're except for their force power thing, which I guess they can only use sometimes or something, because the one that came back, it was I don't know what it was doing. It was doing like weird poses at her. It wasn't like trying to fight her or anything, and it was very strange. It would just do these weird poses, and then she'd run off, and then it tried to chase her, and she's, like I said, just hitting it with a shovel, and then she gets outside again, and then she gets in the car, and then this thing busts into the car, but it can't get out of the car. An alien that can't figure out how to use a car door. Go figure that one out. So it's trapped in the car, it thinks, and it's outside. It's got its hands outside the car, and it's trying to grab her. And she takes a lighter, and she throws it in the gas tank and runs off. And the whole car blows up, and this one dies. So now she's killed 2 of these things. So they send another one in there. So they just keep sending these aliens to kill this bitch. So this gal, if she had any guns or anything, this was a good movie to show about why the Second Amendment is good to have. Because if she had guns, like for instance, if this happened to me, this thing, I would have just been killing these guys. I would have been outside shooting the fucking UFO up in the air. Be like, hey, come on, send another one down. I'm ready to go here, But she didn't have anything. She's just running around throwing hot water on it and stabbing it and just doing whatever she can to fight the thing off. So they bring a third one in there, and she almost kills this one, but then the UFO shoots a beam into the house, and then it pins her against the wall here, and then this one walks up to her and opens his mouth, and this thing comes out, and then she realizes, like, that's how they're possessing the humans. So that thing goes into her mouth. They ripped off the Star Trek thing with the what is it, on Deep Space Nine, the chick that's got the parasite in her. They ripped that off. So that thing goes in her mouth, and it like takes over her body. And then she's like, they cut to this scene, so you think that she had a dream. So I was already pissed off at this movie at this point. I'm like, okay, so I actually turned it off there, and I watched something else, and then I came back later after I had nothing else to watch. So I'm like, okay, let's finish this garbage. So I turned it back on, and so I'm thinking, okay, this was just a dream. This is the end of the movie, right? No. Um, Her dead sister and her mother and these people that were dead come back to life, and she's like, oh, you're dead. I know this is fake. So she reaches in her mouth and yanks out this parasite thing here, this thing, and she has it in her hand, okay, and this thing is like squealing and it's trying to like get to her mouth again, and she could have crushed this thing in her hand and killed it right then and there. No, what does she do? She just throws it on the grass and runs off. I'm really trying here. It's so then the aliens, this is the next scene. This is the scene I'm talking about. They send this guy back, one of the possessed aliens, and he's trying to fight with her, and she fights him off. So they realize no matter what they do, they can't kill this bitch. So they send like 2 or 3 aliens down at once, and then she's fighting them off, and then they retreat. This is what I mean. Like, it's so ridiculous because they're so weak. I'm like, they're so weak. Why don't you just fucking kill them? I would just spend all day killing them. I would enjoy killing those bastards. I would be like taunting them. I'd be like, hey, send another 20 down. You know, I got all day. No, they send 3 down, and she nearly kills them, so they send them back. And then they put this beam on her, and somehow she's in the ship somehow. They don't explain it. They got her in the ship, and I'm thinking, well, why didn't you just do this all along? Why did you keep sacrificing these aliens to capture her? Why didn't you just use that beam thing and put her in there in the first place? So they beam her or get her in there somehow. I'm assuming they did this. They yanked her up in there with this tractor thing. So she's in the ship, and the other aliens are like, oh, look, here, yeah, see this thing? This is when she's fighting this one. These aliens are pretty fucking trippy, man. Like, I really liked these aliens. Like, man, like, these little bastards were just, man. And the weird thing is like, they can, like, make their limbs longer or shorter or whatever, and they can do weird stuff. And, man, I mean, these little bastards were, but the problem is they're really weak. And this girl spends all of her time being scared, but she keeps killing them over and over and over. You think after the first 2 or 3, she would have some confidence and be like, okay, I can kill these little fuckers, you know? I'll just go get a bunch of knives out of the kitchen or whatever I need. I would have started booby trapping. Well, I would have guns. That was her big fuck up. She should have had guns, man. These things would have been mowed down, but she didn't have guns, so she ends up blowing her car to kill one and all of this. So anyways, they got her in the ship, and yeah, see, they keep doing this weird pose thing here. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. It's like, what, are they trying to challenge her to a dance off or something? Because they kept doing this to her, and I didn't know what this meant. So I don't know what it was trying to do, a dance off or what the fuck. But yeah, this is when she kills the one in the car. So they got her in the ship, and then they're like accessing her memories, I guess what you would call it, because they're trying to figure out, like, how do we yeah, see, this is where they take the first one she killed. They're like trying to figure out, like, well, how do we kill this bitch, because she keeps killing us, and she's the only one apparently. Yeah, see, I don't know why these 2 people were so mad at her. They don't explain this. And this fucking bitch here spits on her face, like, for no reason. And you're like, well, what's this about? But we have no context or anything for that. Okay. So, after they, like, look at her life and stuff and bring her back, what they end up doing is making a clone of her. So for some reason, they looked at her entire life. Oh, and while they're looking at her life, you discover that she murdered her sister, which is this fucked up side story. I'm like, what the fuck? She fucking killed her sister? I'm guessing that's why the police were mad at her now that I think about it, but like, what the fuck is this, you know? And then the aliens were like, oh, look, she killed her sister and all this. And, oh, look at her shitty life. And these people are smacking her and all. It's like all this stuff you have no context over. But anyways, they clone her, an actual clone of her, and they send it back down to fight her because they think, oh, well, we'll just clone her and then see if that clone can kill her. So she's like freaked out that she sees this clone of herself and she's like in shock. And the clone goes up to her and it has a knife and it starts stabbing the fuck out of her. And then she realizes that she's being stabbed. And then she has her knife, she has the box cutter in her hand and she cuts the throat of her clone. And then her clone just falls down. And then we see the aliens again, and they're like, oh, with this fucking bitch, we can't kill this bitch. And they're like, what are we going to do? And then you see like all of these UFOs, like they show like Washington, and they just show all of these UFOs like beaming people up. So after she kills the clone, we cut to another scene where she's like in the past, or I don't know what that was. It was the same thing. They just like, it's like she's having a dream again. It's like, oh, my sister's alive again, and my parents are alive, and this person's alive. I know this is total bullshit. And then the aliens, they cut to her in the beam thing with the aliens again. And she sees them and they're like pointing at her going, no, no, or whatever. And then she's just like pissed off and she's like, oh, get me the hell out of here. Leave me alone, you bastards, and all this. And then basically what ends up happening is, I guess that she's accepted the fact that the entire world has been consumed by these things, these parasites, but it's like a stalemate. So she's living in her house and she comes out and there's the mailman and these people and everybody's got the fucking parasites in their throats. And then it cuts to her at some bar dancing, and you can see that they have the parasites in their everybody has the parasite things except for her. And she's just like dancing and all of this. And man, I'm trying to find where that scene was where they showed the end here. Where is that? Okay, it must be back here. But anyways, that's the end of the movie, is that there's a stalemate. They realize that she can kill them, but they can't kill her. And I'm thinking, you stupid bitch, what? Yeah, this is the end, literally. This is what they show. It's like everybody's happy and we're living in Wizard of Oz. You see this? All of these people, they all have the parasites. These are all like aliens or whatever now. They're not even fucking humans. And she's just going along, man. This movie was a piece of fucking shit, man. You had awesome aliens, a somewhat good story, but this is your ending, that it's a stalemate. That they can't kill this bitch. Avoid at all costs, man. That's all I gotta say. They could have really had something here, but they totally blew it. Fuck this movie. Thanks for watching. Bye.